In this video, I'm going to show you the best shoulder impingement stretching exercises using no special equipment. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Dr. Rowe coming to you from SpineCare in St. Joseph, Michigan. In this video, we're going to go over various shoulder impingement or rotator cuff tendonitis exercises. Each one just hits it a little bit differently, so go through all of them and take what is most effective at getting rid of your shoulder impingement. As a bonus, all of these exercises can be done at home. They're very easy, effective, and do not require any special equipment. So let's get started and fix that shoulder impingement at home right now. This exercise is known as the windmill, and it's great because it's going to focus on putting a lot of range of motion in the upper back, in between the shoulder blades, the shoulders, chest, and neck all at once. It's a two-part process. So in the first part, I'm going to go next to a door or wall, place that side that I'm focusing on flush against it. We're also going to start off on our knee, so put a pillow or towel underneath it for extra comfort. I find that this exercise is easier done with a towel or a paper plate because it's going to help take friction out of the gliding motion that we're going to do. So whatever side that we're focusing on, take that side's hand, palm side, face it towards the door or the wall. Our elbow is going to be nice and straight. Let's also have very good posture and tuck our chin just slightly towards our chest. From here, I'm going to just simply raise the arm up towards the ceiling as far as I can. A lot of times with shoulder impingement, what you're going to notice is raising the arm like this, you're going to get a lot of achiness, stiffness, or pain. Make note of that if you start to get that. Go a little bit below the point where you're starting to experience pain and then build into it very slowly through very, very slow repetitions. What you're going to notice is that you get a little bit more range of motion with each repetition to the point where you can almost start to go straight up like this. So go into it very slowly, build into it, throw repetitions into areas that you feel are very achy. But if you can get all the way to the top, what we want to do is then go all the way towards the back, just like this. And once we can do this, let's do 5 complete repetitions just very slowly. It should take you about maybe 10 seconds to do a complete arc just like this. But again, any spot that you feel is really painful or tight and achy, really focus on stretching into that to try to get more range of motion. In the second part, I'm going to flip the hand so the palm is facing away from the wall. I'm going to put my arms together like this to the point where they're going to be able to clap. Let's get into very good posture again. And from here, I'm just going to turn my body in the opposite direction, just like this. So my hand is going to touch the wall. And this feels pretty good, like a very good stretch. But you just want to do this very, very slowly. It should almost feel like the chest is opening up and also you're getting a nice stretch in between the shoulder blades. But just try to do a very slow repetition. It should take you about 5 to 10 seconds to do this for 5 complete times. And when you're done on one side, always switch to the other to keep them both in balance. So one of the main causes of shoulder impingement is because of a rotator cuff imbalance. Here's a 3-part exercise that I like to call the rotator cuff circuit. It's not only going to help loosen everything up, but also strengthen it. So with the first part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my palms facing away from me, put them on the small of the lower back, just like this. Let's raise the hands up as much as we can. When you do this, you're already going to start to feel a good activation into the shoulder blades. From there, I'm going to press into my back with my palms just a little bit, and then I'm going to wing my elbows backward as much as I can, almost like trying to pinch the shoulder blades. When you do this, you should really start to feel the rotator cuffs firing into that shoulder. Only go to your comfort level, but we want to hold this position for about 10 seconds. From there, you can relax, take a breather, and then on the next repetition, challenge yourself to bring the palms up even further and try to wing those elbows back even further to get more activation out of those rotator cuffs. But try to do this for about 5 complete repetitions. And the second part, what we're going to do is whatever shoulder that we're having impingement, let's raise the arm up like this. Elbow is going to be at 90 degrees. Thumb is going to be placed down towards the floor. The other hand is going to go right at the wrist, just like this. The movement from here is very simple. I'm going to try to raise the arm up, but I'm going to resist against it with this hand. So press into it as much as you feel comfortable. You should really feel an activation into the shoulder. Once we hit that point, let's hold this for about 10 seconds. From there, just relax. Again, take a breather, and then repeat this up to 5 times. With each repetition, try to drive it up just a little bit more to help strengthen that rotator cuff even more. In the third part, I'm going to take my hands, place them like this. Let's hook the fingers, and then I'm going to pull like this but resist against it. When you do this, again, you're going to feel the shoulders and rotators really start to fire. Only go to your comfort level. I just want to go from side to side, just very, very slowly, about 5 repetitions on both sides, and it should take you about 3 to 5 seconds to go all the way over and then come back to the middle to repeat to the other side. Once we're done with that, we want to go up, and then we want to go down with it and repeat the same thing. 5 repetitions in both directions, about 3 to 5 seconds. You can also experiment with different angles. Go at diagonal angles like this. You can do counterclockwise motions, clockwise motions. But if you feel like any of them are really a little bit more effective at hitting that point that you're having impingement, throw more repetitions in there, build into the movements to hopefully get more range of motion and knock a lot of that pain out. And again, whatever you do on one side, always switch to the other to keep them both in balance. This shoulder impingement exercise is known as a weighted arm circle, and it can be pretty much done anywhere, at home or at work. We just need to go next to a door or a wall, lean our body against it just like this. Whatever side that we're not focusing on, take that arm, bend it at 90 degrees at the elbow. The palm is going to be flush against the door for a nice stable anchor point. I'm going to use a simple weight for this. In this case, it's going to be a water bottle. You can also use small dumbbells, and if this isn't heavy enough, you can use something like a milk jug. But I'm just going to place my head against my arm like this for extra comfort. The first motion is very easy. Let's let the weight of the object that we're using take the arm down as much as we can. We want the shoulder relaxed as much as possible. Once we get into that position, let's start to do nice, slow circular motions. When you do this, make sure that it feels like the movement is coming from the shoulder, like your shoulder is the one drawing the circles. But you just want to do this very slowly for about 15 repetitions. And if you're going clockwise with it, in this case I'm going counterclockwise, once I'm done, I'm just going to simply switch in the other direction. This will just activate everything into that shoulder just a little bit differently. But you can then go up and down with it and do the same thing. Go side to side. Do different angles, maybe 45 degrees to create an X. If you do notice that one certain motion really starts to fire those muscles and target that shoulder impingement a little bit more, throw more repetitions in there because it's only going to help just loosen everything up and hopefully give you more range of motion and less pain relief. But once you're done on one side, always switch to the other to keep them both in balance. This shoulder impingement exercise is known as a prone lift-off. You can do it in bed or on the floor. Let's start off on our stomach. Take a small rolled up towel or pillow and place it like this for extra comfort. What I'm going to do is a 4-part dynamic movement that is targeting a lot in and around the shoulder in a small amount of time, including those rotator cuffs. All of these parts, I'm going to hold the position for 10 seconds. So in the first part, what I'm going to do is take my hands, overlap them like this, palm side up towards the ceiling, put them on the small of the lower back. The elbows, I'm going to raise up towards the ceiling as much as I can, so I'm winging them back. When you do this, you're already going to start to feel a lot start to fire into the shoulders. Challenge yourself to raise them up as much as you can. And again, once we hit that point, hold this for 10 seconds. In the second part, I'm going to take my arms, straighten them at the elbow, palm side up towards the ceiling again, raise them up as much as I can. 10-second hold. From there, what I'm going to do is start to raise my arms in front of me 45 degrees, have the thumbs up towards the ceiling, kind of like a hitchhiker sign. Raise those arms up, and once we hit a very comfortable stretch, 10-second hold. The last part, I'm going to take my hands, place them on the back of the head like this, and then wing the elbows up again. All of these motions, you're going to notice, just hit it a little bit differently. And if you do have a lot of trouble with impingement on one particular movement, let's say with the third part right here, throw more repetitions in there to help build more range of motion and see kind of like a before and after if you're able to get just a little bit more out of that movement with less pain or stiffness. But once you're done with that, what I'm going to do is then just simply go in reverse and then do 3 complete cycles of this and try to really focus on movements that feel like they're a little bit more impinged, throw more repetitions in to hopefully again lead to more range of motion. This shoulder impingement exercise is what I like to call the soup can method because we're going to be using a tasty can of beef barley soup. You can use any flavor you like. Let's place the can of soup on a floor like this, take a large bath towel, place it over it for extra comfort. This soup can is going to go in between the shoulder blades of our upper back, so let's get into position. Once we get into position, what I'm going to do is just raise my butt up like this to the point where my head is going to be supported on the floor. It's kind of like a bridge-like exercise. The next movement, and this is a two-part process, is known as a floor angel. What I'm going to do, bend the elbows at 90 degrees, lower the elbows towards the floor as much as we can. You're going to feel a very great stretch into the shoulders, into the chest muscles. It should feel like the shoulder blades are also starting to pinch. From here, I'm going to raise my arms overhead like this. And you're going to, again, feel those muscles really get activated. Nice and slow. Go all the way up and then go all the way down just like this. It should take you about 5 to 10 seconds. And you want to do this nice and slow for about 10 repetitions. If you do start to feel impingement with it, like let's say on my right side, it's really a struggle to raise it up like this, build through that stiffness, that tightness, that impingement, and really just throw some repetitions in there to hopefully just loosen it up and allow it to have more range of motion and less pain. In the second part, we're going to do arm circles. So let's put our arms up just like this and just do nice, big, wide circles. Really focus on trying to do this through the shoulders. But again, this should take you about 5 to 10 seconds to do a complete circle with both arms. You want to do this one for about 10 repetitions. Once you're done with that, what you want to do is then go in the opposite direction to attack it just a little bit differently. But again, make note with this, if any certain movement, any certain position, like let's say it's right here for me, with this arc-like motion into the circle is causing impingement, I stop right before that point and I build into it very slowly to try to increase more range of motion by loosening everything up. Target spots that need it just a little bit more, and I hope that this gives you a lot of pain relief. If you liked the video and got a lot of relief, please show us your support by giving this video a like and maybe subscribing to our channel too. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching.